Hello everyone! So today we are gonna get the strip we did for the Zoetrope and we are going to transform this animation into a comic book. So when we are drawing, when we are making drawings for Zoetropes or for flipbooks, we need to draw little by little so to show all the motion that is gonna happen in our animation. Why? Because when we flip the paper or when we turn the Zoetrope, we can see this going fast enough to see the sequence and to see these images animated. Great, but in a comic book, it doesn't work exactly the same way. In a comic book, we don't have to draw all the movement little by little. We can get some parts to show the final idea that we want to pass. But in the end, we are going to show more or less the same idea that we did on this strip. First thing, you don't have to do exactly the same animation. You can create another animation in your comic book. I'm just going to do the same on mine so you can see exactly what I'm talking about. So first of all, you are gonna need a template. What is this template? In a comic book, we have to draw these little squares to create the sequence of our animation. So each square is going to be one part of our illustration. Check these templates over here. They don't look the same and they don't have to look the same. These templates, they can be different when you want to show something that is really important or is really noisy. You can make a big square or a big shape. So the sequence of these shapes, it's going to be up to you. You can do in any way. You don't have to do the same as mine. I created some squares and rectangles to transmit this idea, but in a comic book. Great, but in a comic book, plus adding the drawings in illustrations, we are going to add bubbles. The bubbles help us to understand what is going on. So in my case, if the dog is making a sound, I can show this on a bubble. Or if you want to make a sound like, wow, something really noisy, or, oh, shh, be quiet. So there is a bubble for every single noise you want to represent. So the final look was this. I used some onomatopoeias in the bubbles and without the bubbles, just the onomatopoeia. On the first one, the boxes, they have different sizes, but it doesn't mean that the box gets bigger or smaller. It means that here I'm getting a closer look, and then over here the box is a little further. And look, I add those lines over here to show that the box was moving, and then it came a noise from the inside, woof! And then the box was a little scared. But when the box heard woof, it knew what it was. And then the dog knocked inside, knock, knock. And then it came out of the box. And check that here I add those 3 lines over here. That means that the dog is barking, woof, woof. So sometimes if you add those lines, it can show the movement or the idea that you want. You don't need to add in every square onomatopoeias or bubbles to show people what you want to say. Okay guys, so that's what I want you to do today. I want you to transform the animation that you did into a comic book. It's not a book, right? A comic page, because it's not just a strip. But as I said before, if you didn't really like your animation, you can change the story. Okay, you can change the story you did before. You can have another story. You just need on your illustration over here to show this idea of movement that is happening, that was happening in the strip that we did before. Okay guys, so if you have any questions, please send me a message and I will help you as much as I can. Okay, bye bye and see you soon.